What's good, everybody? I'm BPC and welcome to Competitive Origins MMA. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be notified on future videos, and hit the like button on this video, please. Now, today's topic is on Marvin The Italian Dream Vettori's words, "Guess what, mother, I'm here," which was directed towards Israel Adesanya, the UFC middleweight champion. But first, I want to point out that I'm wearing a Competitive Origins No Matter What t-shirt, and you can get this at competitiveorigins.com. Now, a portion of the proceeds will go towards the channel so we can provide a better experience for you guys at home. And if you type in promo code MMA16, you'll get 10% off your order. Now, you've been competing since conception, whether you're competing with yourself or others. Competitive Origins. Now, Marvin had a battle with Israel Adesanya about 2 years ago. In fact, it was in 2018, and it was a split decision victory for Israel Adesanya. And you already know how that story goes. Israel wins several fights, he gets a title match, he wins the title, he defends it several times, while Marvin, on the other hand, doesn't really go the same path. He doesn't get the same high-ranked fighter opportunities, and therefore he fights a couple times, and he's basically in a position where he's just waiting for that opportunity to get that big fight, and it came this past Saturday night. Now, if you go to the end of the video, but first watch the rest of this one, I have a video that basically talks about this fight that took place this past Saturday night, and it breaks down how the whole fight went. But about 6+ months ago, Marvin talked about how, he felt he won this fight, or at least he won that split decision. And he feels that Israel thinks that he won the split decision, and therefore they should just do battle. So he's already been calling for this fight, even though he was ranked number 13 and Israel was the champion, or is the champion, I should say. Now, he is bitter towards him, or at least it seems like it. It seems like there's really some bad blood between these two individuals. So you start listening to Marvin talk, and he says that after, his loss to Izzy, Izzy had a different attitude, more of a positive one. I guess he said certain things, and I guess they were cool, And after the post-fight interview, Israel continued it on. Well, he said Israel changed when he went into the back, with his coaches, into the locker room, and came out to do the post-fight conference, and that whatever he was saying was completely different from the type of individual that he was in the octagon, and I guess that kind of rubbed Marvin the wrong way. Now, I don't know if that's actually true, but that's how Marvin sees this. Now, Marvin also calls out Izzy for lying on a situation where they both ran into each other. See, Izzy says that they ran into each other and he basically just blew off Marvin. Well, Marvin tells the story a little bit different. He actually states that, he saw Izzy and he called him over. And he was with his coach, and they met up with Izzy, and Izzy was with another individual, and they were kind of talking, and Marvin brought up the whole fact that Izzy changed his tune once he got in front of the media at the post-fight conference, compared to how he was talking after the fight, in the octagon. And Izzy kind of downplayed it and kind of wanted to be more in a happy mood and playful, and Marvin was dead serious. And I guess Israel picked up on that. And Marvin says that Israel's attitude changed, that he wasn't angry, but he wasn't the same, fun, happy person that he had started the conversation off as. Now, leading up to this fight, he was asked, leading up to the fight this past Saturday, Marvin was asked, what do you think about Israel going up to light heavyweight? Because after all, he is the middleweight champion. And he basically replied that it's BS. He thinks he can do what he wants to do. And break it down for a second, all right? Izzy has gone on a massive winning streak. He won the title. He's defended it twice. The previous middleweight champion would typically defend his title once a year, and Izzy has already exceeded that. So why not give him the opportunity to go ahead and build on his legacy? What he's accomplished in the past 2 years is nothing short but amazing. Because if you compare another fighter such as Marvin and what he's able to do in the past 2 years, it just doesn't match up. So, I think he needs to back off a little bit or whatever and let Israel do his thing. He's not slowing down the division by any means, but he's not obligated to fight and defend his title every month or whatever just because it disposes of people so quickly and easily. Moving forward, Marvin's asked about what he thought, in regards to the Yoel fight. Yoel and Israel Adesanya, and he says that was the worst title fight ever. And I agree with him. That was a really, really bad fight. Yoel kind of waited for Israel to come after him, and Israel, knowing how dangerous Yoel is, he chose to stay on the outside. Now, Yoel did come in with a flurry, throwing, strikes here and there, and that might have won him a round or two. But at the end of the day, a couple flurries and a round does not equal, a win over the course of the 5-round fight. Now, Marvin said that Yoel won the fight, and like I just completely described the fight to you, I don't see how that is physically possible unless we got some really, really bad judges, and the UFC has been known to be appointed some really bad judges. So, Yoel did not win, plain and simple. So, going from there, as soon as Marvin won his fight this past Saturday, he actually called out Paulo Costa. He wants to fight Paulo Costa. That's who he wants next, and when it came to the post-fight conference, which is interesting because now he changed his tune. Now, you see, he said Izzy changed his tune. Now Marvin changed his tune. So maybe that's normal, apparently, as Anderson Silva would say, it's normal. He said he had a brutal loss to Israel Adesanya. Why would I want to go ahead and fight him? It's like, I'd rather go against Whitaker. I'd rather fight for an interim title. I want Izzy. He basically said Whitaker is not down to fight right now, and he doesn't even seem like he's really interested in fighting Izzy. And that's true. Whitaker's comments basically depicted that he was not really looking forward to another fight with Israel. And I kind of discussed that in another video, which will be at the end of this video. There'll be a link for it between Jan Blachowicz and Israel Adesanya. So that's 2 videos for you guys to check out if you haven't already seen it. But basically, Whitaker wants to go spend time with his family right now. And when he gets back, he's not rushing to get to the title. The title will come to him, is how he kind of takes it. So Marvin's saying he would love to have a fight with Whitaker. He does not want to fight Costa because he lost. He's not interested in Jared Cannonier because he lost to Whitaker. I don't think he's really interested in any other fighters when you really think about it, because a lot of these fighters have losses right now, and that doesn't excite him, and he doesn't want to fight fighters that are ranked below him. So, he wants that Izzy fight. He's pushing for this fight. Now, one comment that I thought was interesting that he pointed out was that Israel is not courageous. That was one of the lasting remarks that I remember him talking about, which he said on another interview way after the post-fight conference. And he said, Israel's just smart, which at the end of the day, you do want to be a smart fighter when it comes to winning fights. But I see his point to why he's pointing out that Israel is not courageous, because he kind of stood there and didn't go after Yoel, because he could have taken a blow that could have knocked him out, and therefore, why take the risk? So therefore, he's not courageous. Now, my take on that is Israel is courageous when the fight is brought to him. Now, he's not going to be an individual that's going to back down, per se, from a fight. He will stick and move and do a lot of moving. He did a lot of moving in the Anderson Silva fight. When somebody is pressuring him, he will move, feint, hit, strike, kick, whatever he may do. But he will go ahead and battle. He fights smart, but, when he was brought the fight, he will go ahead and battle. I'm BPC. Go into the comment section below and fill out, who you think basically Marvin should fight next. Izzy next in line to fight Izzy? Should he wait for Whitaker? What do you think should happen? Do you think Izzy should pass on the Jan Blachowicz fight and go and fight this guy? There's a lot of talk right now, and that's obviously good. Marvin's doing exactly what he needs to do, is get people talking about him. He was very little known before, and now after that glorious victory he had this past Saturday night, he's making a lot of noise, and he's talking about the right people. You know, he's calling out the champion, he's calling out a couple other individuals, and we're going to see where it all takes place. Don't forget to go to competitiveorigins.com, type in promo code MMA16 so you can get get 10% off your order. I'm BPC. Thank you and have a great day.